Alright, welcome guys. Today we're going to be doing a beginning scripting tutorial. So this is a new series I'm going to start and do like one video every week about this beginner scripting series. So yeah. So today I'm going to be explaining just like the first step of scripting. So I'll be talking about properties in this video. If you already know what that is, another video will come out about when you get to the scripting. I mean, I'll show a little bit of scripting to represent stuff, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today. So, I basically insert a part, so you press home and then part, and then it'll insert a part in workspace. So, a weld, it just automatically makes itself when you like have it down here. It automatically welds it to the ground. That's why you get a weld automatically created. When you're using tweens, which I'll explain in probably the 5th beginner scripting video, when you're using tweens, you won't want to weld on your parts. So yeah. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the properties. So you'll need to learn about all the properties down here, like right here. You'll need to learn all the properties and stuff, because they're very important in scripting. So here's brick color. Brick color is used for like for example, switching colors. So if I made a while true do loop, and then I represented the part by making a variable, which you guys don't know this quite yet, but I'll explain what I'm like. We'll make a part like basically later on in the scripting series we'll be making a rainbow part. So it'll teach you guys how to make like loops and stuff that do the exact same thing. And tweening will also be helpful for loops too, in case you want to move an object smoothly and not just teleport. So, so let's make a variable for the part. For example, local part. Local is, if you place local first, this is how Roblox will think this, Lua coding in general will just think this is a variable right here. And then this will be the variable name. So, and then part is the name of the variable. So we always put it in equals, or if you're making like a local function, which we'll get into functions like later on, but let's just make a part variable. So you gotta do an equal sign. Then you can do just workspace, or the old way, which I'm very used to, which is game.workspace. Or some people sometimes like make a service. We'll be talking about most of the services when we get to the advanced scripting, but so if we wanted to get the workspace service, which we don't need to actually like do this, but I'm just doing this as an example. You would, if you wanted to get a service, you would do game, call, get service, and then workspace, or like any other service like tween service, which we'll be working on later on, and workspace. But with workspace, we don't need to make a service for it, so we can just say game.workspace or workspace part. Alright, so now we have the variable for the part by doing this. So we have workspace.part, but I'm going to do it the old days and do workspace.part. Game.workspace.part. And then, so we're going to be talking about the services, and we're going to do examples by using scripting. So if you wanted to change like a brick color, for instance, instead of like the color using a RGB value, something like color 3 dot from RGB, but we aren't gonna do that. because we don't want to do that. So we're gonna do brick color. And then after part dot brick color, you're gonna do equals to, and then brick color has its own like changing service. So we would do brick color dot new, and then quote, and then since this is a string, right up here it says string, and then we got so many different colors you can change to. So red, if we wanted to do really red, and once we join the game, it would turn really red. So let's go ahead and run that. And see, now it turned red. I mean, it turned really red. Yep, like that. That's just a simple script to change color, but if we wanted to do, I mean, there's so many different ones you could do, like brick color dot random, and then it'll change to like a random brick color if you do this. See, it changed randomly and you got earth green. But if I run it again, it'll be something different. Surprisingly, it's earth green again. Okay, that's actually really surprising. Okay, so now that's what the brick color service, that's what brick coloring is. So we got cast shadow. I don't think that's really needed for games, but color. Color is really important in case you want to make your own custom color with RGB. So part.color equals color3 dot from RGB. You can do hex if you know hex, or HSV, which is basically hue, but I do RGB because I'm used to it. So red, RGB means red, green, blue. So right after you do red, green, blue, you'll want to set the color value for the red and green and blue. So let's say I'll do 50, 50, and 50. I get gray. Or you could just use this color wheel thing to make your own values. Like I could do this one and then like make it light, then it would give me the color value right here. Now if we tested that out, it'll change to that. It's pretty nice. Now we're going to talk about some more like important services, like material is very good for decorating, and transparency is pretty important to know. So reflectance isn't really important, but material is. So if we were to change the material of this part, we would do part dot material equals enum dot material dot, and then whatever material there is. So you could choose, like, this is plastic, but if you did ice, it'll look different. Marble, there's so many different ones you could choose. So I'm just gonna change it to marble when you join the game. We always do enum. I mean, for tweening you also do enum, but enum is like the set values usually. So you do that and it changes the material. Or you could just do, I'm pretty sure you can just do quotation marks, and then it should change too. Yep, all you need is quotation marks. Or you can do the whole entire complicated enum thing, but yeah, that's pretty good for decorating. So the next property we're going to be talking about is transparency. So if we change this wheel, we'll have like a transparency thing, and if the transparency is 1, it's going to be invisible, but if it's like half, it's going to be half invisible and half visible, and then 0 is just, it's full out visible. That's a really important service to know. So we could do transparency equals, and then we can just put a value. So I'll do 0.4555, which is a pretty long decimal number, but yep, it turns to that value. Oh, it turns 456, but that's fine. Either way it works. So yeah. Alright, next property we're going to be talking about is what's a good one? Archival, you always want to turn on. Locked, you never turn this on. Name, So this will be very important when you're like game developing. So you'll need to do like, you could rename this part, rename, and make sure to change your variable to whatever you name the part, or else you'll have an error. So let's try changing the brick color. Brick color dot new, and then really red, and let's see if that changes. But in the output we should get an error. Yep, part is not a valid member of workspace. That's because it's right, because it isn't. It's actually, since we renamed it, we would need to rename this, which naming is very good, but I'm gonna rename this to part. Okay, part. Alright, there you go. So parent is basically, the part is the child and workspace is the parent. So right here is, so think of it as like if you insert something, the that's inside of something, like if I insert something inside the script like an animation, the parent will be script. That's very important to know for parents, especially when it comes to like GUI designing and stuff. But this next one we're going to be talking about is size. Size is kind of important actually, because I recommend using this if you don't know how to like scale stuff very well. So I can do part.size equals, and then I could do this is a vector value, by the way, so you don't just do the normal thing like that, or you don't have like brackets doing 1, 1, 1. It's a vector value. So you do vector3.new, and then 5, 5, 5, and then the size should change when I run. Yep, it changes into this big fat block. So yeah, that's what size is, which you probably already know, but let's do part. What's another good one? Oh yeah, C-frame is kind of complicated, but position, that's how we'll change the position. So again, we use the vector3.new value, and then we can change it to a random position, so 0, 10, 6. So this is the x, this is the y, and then this is the z-axis. The z-axis you don't learn for a while, but yeah. And now it's somewhere else, like it disappeared. But it's not actually disappeared, it just moved to a different location what we sent it to. So we moved it to 0.10, 10,6, which our script was 0,10,6, which that works. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is can collide. If we set can collide here, let me just run this in an actual like Roblox character. So can collide is actually important because you can collide with the part, but if you set can collide to false, then you can't collide with the part. A false and true is basically a Boolean value too, so those will be very important in a lot of codes. And now I can walk through it because of the collision is equal to false. Now we can go to this part, and then anchored. Anchor is very important because if you don't anchor stuff, watch what happens. So this isn't anchored, and look at this. If I drag it all the way here and then I press run, look what it does. It falls. But the thing is, if I do anchor it, so part.anchored equals true, if I do anchor it, hold on, let me save that script by exiting it. If I do anchor it, it does anchor. So it like stays up here. But if I turn the anchor to false, hold on, it's acting weird. Oh, here we go. If I turn the anchor to false, look what it does. It falls and bounces all around. So anchoring is very important. Alright, so let's put that down there, and then let's anchor that part. so we can get rid of that. Then now, here's another property. So there's shapes. So if you go here, there's sphere, wedge, corner wedge, cylinder. If we change this shape to ball or cylinder, it'll look different. So let's try, I'll make a code to make it change into a ball. So let's see. Alright, part.shape equals enum dot part, I'm pretty sure we can just do ball. Yeah, because I forgot the enum for shape, but I do use quotation marks a lot. Yep, it turns into a ball if we use quotation marks. I just like using enum because it's like more complicated and you have to type more. But yeah, I don't really know the enum for shaping. And that's like all the properties. Joking. So that's pretty much all the important properties. I hope you liked this beginner scripting tutorial, and we'll look at the I hope I see you in the next episode. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you think this helped you a little bit, then yeah. And make sure to play my new game I've been working on. It's my Doors Recreation thing, and it's been doing very well for the past few weeks. So yeah, you can try that out and see my progress on the game. I've been working on it for about a month, and it's been about, I've only gotten 32 doors. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.